make sure. All right, guys, we'll let a few people get into the stream and then we'll start. We've got a lot of air conditioning going on here, so if there's if it's too loud, we'll back a few of them down. We'll let folks get in and then we'll talk this build. Let a few people get in, and I'm gonna make sure everybody can hear me correctly.
What's the motherboard?
It's the normal Prime.
This is Prime 270.
Yeah, Z270. So we'll let a few more people get on, guys, and then I'll go ahead and get into the episode. Thanks for jumping in early. It's a little earlier than normal. Give me an okay if the sound's all right. We do have several air conditioners running in here right now. We got several rigs going. You know, some crazy Ethereum prices right now. So obviously we got about everything we can going right now. So I got some assistants tonight too. Jason's over tonight, so we'll. Miss BBT is not here. She'll be hopefully on the next one, and we'll bring her in front of the camera for you guys too. Some people have been asking if she exists. They hear her voice. But we're going to cover quite a few things tonight. I'm going to try to make this like an hour and a half. We'll have a spot for question and answer. I know a lot of you guys sent me over a lot of questions. There's probably 300 plus questions in our mailbox right now. I'm going to try to get through some of those tonight and get some of those answers for you guys. If you've put questions out to us and bitsbetrippin@gmail.com, we'll try to get some of that stuff answered for you. I did want to say that we've done a lot of updating to the affiliate network side. So now you folks in EU, Canada, Mexico, pretty much everything is now on our affiliate stuff, so you guys can hit those links. It's on bitsbetrippin.com. We appreciate that if you're doing some shopping in there. Again, we're going to do the question and answer. I'm going to try to go through some of the emails because some of them are the same kind of questions, see if we can get them answered tonight too. We're going to go over this 8-card rig here. You saw we kind of showed this case off on one of our last live streams. I'll give you the dimensions and all that kind of stuff in there too as we start to get into the stream. And this is obviously the GTX 1060s. This is a 6 gig. We have it running out. I wanted it to run for a little bit to show you the stability of it and stuff. We have it going for about 4 hours. We'll get zoomed in on that. I'll tell you the settings that we're working with right now and then how we've stepped it up. And we'll put the second camera on it, and that way you can kind of see underneath and see what the, you know, the design and the setup is. We got it on a pair of RM1000s, which is way overkill, and we got the kilowatt for this too, so we'll show you that. We'll get I think we got a pretty good good crew to start here. So I'm going to make sure we get the kilowatt over here. Get it kind of down on the ground. I'll pull that over. That way we can get kind of that, and then we'll first kind of take you through this build that we have here. So we started with the Asus Prime Z270. So that's the board that's on this particular build. We've used this quite a bit. The AR, the A also works perfectly fine, and actually the Z270 also will work with this build. Now this has got 8 cards on it. This board supports 9. We showed you 9 in one of the previous videos, but on Windows based machines, you're only getting 8 just because of the driver issue. So this is obviously NVIDIA. We haven't really done a lot of testing with the NVIDIA Linux build yet. We're working kind of with a person right now to see if we can get a good Linux build that works with all these NVIDIA cards and then get that out to you guys. But right now we're using Windows for this build. That's why there's 8 cards here. So the cards that we're talking about right now, if you have that, and you know what, I'm going to make sure one of our lighting is not pitched at the right angle for this, so hopefully that'll be better. So it's the Republic Gaming Strix Gaming Edition, the GeForce GTX 1060. This is the 6 gig card. So Obviously, you guys have probably seen the prices went crazy right now. So what I got right now is I got both of these RM1000. We're powering this with two. I don't know if we can get zoomed in on these, Jay, and I don't even know if these say on the bottom what they are. Do they say what they are?
It does.
Okay. So this is way overkill right now. This is just, we had a second power supply, so we put it on there. These are two R1000s. You do not need this level of power on this.
Corsair RM1000X.
Yeah, so there's a pair of these right now, and you could get by with probably a 1000 and then probably a 650 with no problem. Because right now this whole build is running right there. These 8 cards are using 1030 watts. So the way we got this set up right now, just for the kilowatt. Now I would split these across circuits anyways, but you probably can't see them this way. So we got this 2 cords going into the one just for the kilowatt reasons. I would not do this if we were close to 15 amps or 20 amps. But for this build, we'll show you the 1030 on that, and I'll show you the settings that we got right now with these 8 cards. So if we get zoomed in over here, we'll see right now these cards, and this is kind of really what you guys are wanting to look at here. So we're looking at about 187 right now on this, about 23 and a half, 23 on each of these cards. Got a small little super chat here at least. Right now with the DAG being at about 2.1 and some change, the 3 cards right now, unless Ethereum backs away from their proof of stake roadmap right now, will last you through at least through December right now at the current rate of what I've seen. Obviously we'll update you guys if we see any change in that, but right now it looks like they're going to go proof of stake hybrid before you even run out of your 3 gigs. So if you can get 3 gigs, one of our next builds that I'm looking at right now is the mini. I'm trying to do a smaller 3 gig 1060 build. They're going to be 3 gig cards, and we're going to make the investment to at least get 6 or 7 of those for a build. So I mean, right now it's time is of the essence. With what the prices are going up right now, is just getting what you can and trying to get it, get as much as you can. Just because the prices are just ridiculous right now. I don't even know what's driving the $330, $340 price point for Ethereum right now. But this setup right now, I'm going to show you kind of the stats that we have on this. And I'm going to show you kind of all the kind of ins and outs of this card. So I'm firing up MS Afterburner right now, and then we'll fire up GPU-Z. We'll get these 2 fired up so you can kind of see what we're looking at. This with the mining running, it's taking a little bit. Actually, I'll kill the mining, and then we'll get the stats up if it'll go. Been running for 4 hours and 12 minutes. We'll see with the overclock. I tried to open up Afterburner. It may have made it Windows a little unstable. We'll see. Mining finally closed. Yeah, it's still trying to open. We're running an i3 7100 in this, for if anybody wanted to know what processor we're running. We're running that only because that was about the only processor we could get at the time. I did order some of the newer 1151, I think they're G4400s, I believe is what the Pentiums. So those should be coming in for some of our other builds, but this right now is the i3 7100, 3.9 gigahertz. I'm going to give this a nice fresh reboot. And then we'll dig into the cards. I'll dig into the settings I have set for them right now, which are pretty conservative right now from what we could probably bring these cards up to. I just wanted to show a stable build with regards to like if you just get it going and just leave it set, what's possible with these. The 3 gigs are really enticing though, because they're a lot cheaper and you're getting pretty much the same performance out of them. Nice. Windows didn't like something. Now again, this was a fresh build. Essentially we built, I didn't even put any of the motherboard drivers or anything on this. I essentially built it, put the drivers on it, and threw the mining software on there. So there was no real config, there was no shutting all the things that you'd normally want to set off with privacy and auto updates and all that kind of stuff with this build. We were just trying to get it done, get it out to you guys to show you kind of what these cards can do. And then we'd come back in there and clean up the Windows build. If this is going to continue to stay on Windows, what we'll probably end up doing is putting this on the Linux distro that we're working with. If we get that distro working and it's stable, we're going to get it out to you guys, which will be using just NVIDIA drivers on the Linux build. I know SimpleMining.net's working on it too, but he was working on one other feature before he went into this. To do an NVIDIA cards, he was going to work, because right now in Simple Mining you can't have whatever you have assigned to that email address, that whole account and all those machines under it just go to that one mining address. You can't say split your 2 rigs to go to one and 2 rigs to go to another. That's the feature that he's working on right now, that runs the guy that runs Simple Mining. After that feature's completed, then he has talked about adding NVIDIA to the mix. With as many as you folks and us and everybody that's in the mining community moving over to NVIDIA cards, since the AMD cards are not available, just the folks that are responsible for a lot of these mining outputs are looking to put some more features in there to support the NVIDIA card. So I, for one, am looking also for, even with us working on our own distro, I'm looking for Simple Mining to have their piece going. So let's get this. And I'll take a look at the chat too. I mean, I'm not trying to ignore you guys. I'm trying to get through some of the content. Oh, got another super chat. Yeah, local Micro Center Zotac 1070s for $299. I don't think any of those are still available. Gary, no. Windows 10 right now cannot run more than 8 cards that I'm aware of, unless some new update came out. And it's really predicated on the driver. All right, so the settings that we have on these cards that you saw, the 23.5 mega hash coming out of these Asus strict gaming cards that we're running. So we're running the latest NVIDIA drivers. I'll show you that. Excuse me. And we're running a plus 145 on the core clock, and we're running plus 750 on the memory. And I was letting the fans kind of do their own thing. We're using driver version 382.33. There actually might be a new driver. But that's the driver we're running right now on this, 382.33. Again, GeForce GTX 1066 gigs. That's what we were running to get the 23.5 on Ethereum. Looking at GPU-Z. We've gotten some comments in the channel, the folks saying that we don't show GPU-Z. We always show GPU-Z. So I'm going to show you guys the GPU-Z of this. You'll see all the 8 cards in there. And don't worry, I'm going to move the camera. I'm going to show you kind of how we got them set up on the board. But there's the 8 cards. 1280 shaders on these. 192 bus on the bit. These are all Samsung. I believe every one of these are Samsung memory. Fill rates. Your fill rates change because of the slot speeds. So most of these are in 2x, and we have a few that are, I think, running 1x on the board. We got that. Close that. We'll run nice hash. And I believe there's a newer version of this. Still haven't updated it. let you guys see what this does. Oh, virtual memory error, normal. Key state, yes. Now I have not configured any of these, so I'm going to go in through settings. I'm going to let it do equal hash. I will come back in and check these when we're going through question and answer to let it run through all the benchmarks for the different coins, and then we'll let it go auto, and we'll show you some of the different coin outputs. Oops, benchmark settings. So you got to go through each card, and I'm just selecting equal hash, which is, I keep coming out of that. Well, at least you guys are going to know how to get there. So each one of these cards, you got to come in and you got to uncheck. All right, I think I got them all. Nope. Eight of them. All right. Start. I'm gonna have it not. Oh, it has to. It has to benchmark the first time. I'm gonna give this worker name a 1060. We'll let it benchmark real quick. We'll have its auto start mining right after that. So what I'm going to just show you is what a rig like this, at least on Zcash, will do on NiceHash's algorithm, and then we'll come in there and we'll do the Zcash miner, the 033B. Let you guys see that, and then we'll go check all the algorithms, let it go through its post test. I'll answer some questions specifically, and then we'll bring this kind of second camera. Actually, we can kind of get that right now, kind of set up. I'll check the box here and show you kind of how we got this kind of set up. So if you look here, here's the 7, and then over here we have the M2 drive right there. So we got the M2 drive, which is the 8th. The other M2 drive on this board is right back. Where is it on this one? Oh, it's right back here. So the other M2 drive is on the back side of the board right here. So normally if you had another one, it would be right here. You can see that little screw hole and that screw hole. Again, I get it a little closer. So there could be another one right here. That's how you get the 9 with if you're going to run Linux on this board. So essentially all these kind of coming through. There is one power converter dongle going into a 4X Molex here. On the power configuration on this, each of the powered risers, I have the Molex going straight into it. We're not using any of the little adapters right now. All of the power is coming off the main primary PSU, which is back here. So there's 6 PATA and SATA connectors here, and what we did is we took the PATA connectors from the other power supply over here, because I just wanted to use the 4X Molex for all these 8 cards, and we only got 2 per card right now on each of these. So you see some of these other extra ones just stranded up.
There's some questions about where you got the M2 connector.
We will link where we got the M2 connector, and I've ordered. So we, on our bitsbetrippin website, we got a little store up there. What I've done is I ordered like 700 risers, and I think I probably ordered 200 of these little M2 adapters, the same ones we're using. So I'll link to where you guys can go out and get them yourselves, but I'm trying to get a supply of them, and then we'll see about trying to get the whole store set up for you guys to be able to just pick up the same stuff that we have. I mean, so I'm going to link where we got it from on our site here on this video. That way you can get the same ones. But if you want to try to jump ahead Let's see if I can get this in here and you can see I don't know if these things actually have the details on them. I think it's just very, very basic. It actually has no labeling on it. The place that we called in Shenzhen, I try to get them to put our logo on them, and they're like, you know, you need to buy like 10,000 of them. I'm like, hey, I love your product, bro, but 10,000 is a little steep. I don't know how. I mean, we have 150 of you guys in the channel. I mean, that'd be great if each one of you bought one, but I mean, I don't need 10,000 of them. So, we'll see. We'll see if I can get them down. Guys, I'd like a blue PCB one that had the BBT logo on. I think that'd be kind of cool, but well, it looks like we got
hashing.
Well, it's at least starting. It's trying to start. We'll see if the aggressive. I don't see it actually processing right now.
Looks like it accepted some shares.
Oh, it shows it here. Here it is. It's doing it. Well, it thinks it's doing it. It started it. We'll see if it crashes on us. But right now, it's started. This machine it's saying. It looks like it's froze up. So I'm taking it for what it's worth right now. We'll probably have to restart this. I think it came right out of hashing, or right out of its benchmark and went straight into trying to open, and it looks like it froze up. But it at least peaked at 2,550 sols, which is roughly $30 a day at the current price. So we'll see if I'm going to try to kill this. I'm going to try to close this. And we're going to try to reopen it. If not, I'm going to try to update NiceHash. And then we'll back down the clocks a little because it might be just a little too aggressive for Zcash. At least in these cards. Oh, I got a new job. Just trying to. There we go. All right, let's let it reset here. Let's check the task manager. See if it's throttling. Like, no, everything's 0. CPU's not even thinking. Let's try to rerun this guy again. We'll open up complaining about virtual memory. I might actually have to go in there and adjust the virtual memory settings. $26. Share accepted. Another share accepted. 27. So we'll just sit here and zoom down on this, and we'll see what Zcash this thing puts out. So right now about $31 right now is what this thing's saying today. Now this is going straight to Bitcoin, but it's actually mining Zcash right now. So it's doing a conversion on the exchange automatically and then paying us out in Zcash or in Bitcoin. We'll check the wattage here in a second too. I'm just letting it kind of get settled. We don't have any kind of external fan on this. These things are running on themselves right now with regards to the fans. Looks like it's leveling off at about 2.5 sols. That's about $31.29 a day because of the crazy prices that are going on right now. That's not too bad actually for 1060s. Let's check the power. Yeah, it's right to where it was before. I mean on ETH. And now I'm going to play with some of the settings next. So that's 1030. There's 8 cards for the folks that just are joining. And they're the GTX 1060s. These are the 6 gig cards. It's across 2 power supplies right now. I got 4 cards on one. I got 4 cards on the other power supply and the motherboard powering all the risers. We got way overkill on the second power supply. You do not need a 1,000 watt power supply. Bottom line, you don't. You could get by probably with a 650 or 750. it all comes down to if you go with a lower power supply, where we have all these double, the double dongles here, you'd have to probably do a little different configuration to line them up to be able to use the second part of this, because these cards have a single 8-pin. So you could use these, where each of these are not using any of them. I got the individual power running to each of them. If you got like a 1200 watt power supply, technically with these, with the split rails, you could technically probably get away with it. Besides, I think you're actually going to run out of, I think you're only going to be able to get 7. Don't quote me on that, but I think you're only going to be able to get 7 even using these. The 8th one's going to put you into either needing a new power supply or doing something crazy like trying to do Molex to 8-pin expander, and that's just not usually stable. But getting away with like 1,000 watt or like a couple 850s, you could probably get away with it. The problem with the 850s is there's not enough PATA and SATA connectors for your risers. There's really no answer for that short of maybe using a powerless, where you're pulling power from the board, like with an older traditional ribbon cable. A lot of people don't recommend them. I've had very good success with them. I'm thinking I had one over here, but I think I tossed most of all the other ones. The ribbon cables, with the newer cards, the problem is they pull so much juice from the actual PCB. So like if it's pulling it from the board, which one? Which you got, super chat? We'll check that super chat. The problem with the ribbons is on the newer cards, they're pulling a lot of juice. I mean, the newer cards, the early 480s were actually catching people's boards on fire because they were pulling 75 plus watts off that actual main thing. About 60. The most I ever saw was 60 watts coming from one of our boards, but some people are saying they were getting 70 watts. So it's pulling a lot of juice. So I'd probably steer clear from the ribbons if you're going to do a whole board of them. Maybe 1 or 2 is perfectly fine. I have a few boards right now that are running them fine with 580s in them, but you're going to have to step. Bottom line, you're doing 8 cards. You're going to have 2 power supplies, and one of the first main one's probably going to have to be 1,000 watts, even though you're not going to use that. And plus, you don't want to run 1,000 watts on 1,000 watts. So if this machine right now is 1,030. Get like 1,000 watt and get like a 650 or an 850, then you should be okay. But right now running 2 1,000 watts, I mean each power supply is, one's using 650 watts, the other one's using like 400 and some change. So it's barely using half. The fan actually isn't even on spinning on it. Let me I got this thing kind of over here. I'm not even showing you guys. So you can see that fan's not even spinning on that power supply right now. So this one's spinning. That one's not. It's not even sweating. It's like, am I even on right now? Well, we know it's on because it's got 4 cards plugged into it. But here we can get you kind of close up there. But you can see all these EVGA power supply, or these Corsair power supplies, all came with double connectors here. So we're just gonna tie those down. You guys can kind of see this build here, kind of the close up here. We're gonna check that one now. We'll bring that Logitech back in if we need. I'm gonna check this super chat. Thank you for your super chat donations. We do appreciate those. It helps us get other videos created, and kind of keeps the rest of the team inspired to keep helping me out on getting this stuff done. For I can get them taken care of.
When am I going to get paid?
Yeah, when am I going to get paid? Exactly. Anyone else have to re-download and Shrek every time they want to launch NiceHash? No, I haven't had that. I've had, when I've copied, when you download NiceHash, like I'll take this and I have this on like on our local server here, and if I copy that and put it onto another machine, it does kind of a scan, and it does essentially creates an internal GUID ID, which kind of just takes a system map of what's there, memory, motherboard, settings, all that kind of stuff, and creates just a unique identifier. So it knows if it gets launched on another computer. Like if you launch it on another computer, it says, hey, wait a minute, your configuration's changed. And then it'll prompt you, like it pops up on this one, it needed to redo the stuff for this machine. And if I was to copy this again, it would have that same problem. What I would try to say is remove it, and then pull down this latest version 173 or 175.13, which I haven't even downloaded yet. So it looks like I just wanted to kind of do a test on this on Zcash, at least with NiceHash. We're going to come back to this and see what it does with the other algorithms, but we're going to stop that right now. We're going to close it. I'm going to pull up GPU Z, and I'm going to put the sensors on. That way you guys can kind of see the power draw and what TDP we're using. These were at 70%. Let me bring up Afterburner again for the folks just joining. We're going to bring up the sensor side here. We're going to have this running. Oh, actually, we're on the 90 power limit. That's interesting. You know what? Let's back this guy down. Let's take her all the way down to 60. And let's try ETH first, and then we'll come back to NiceHash. And we'll see what. So all we did is just brought the TDP down to 60%. It should show the power consumption over here on the TDP here in a second. You see the 8 cards fire up on. Man, that's I don't know why. Maybe are you guys like me when you see 8 cards pop up on there and you're just like, yes, 8 cards in Windows. I don't know. It's just maybe it's just me. I just for some reason I get some kind of excitement out of that. There's just something about it. I don't know. Come on, I want to see this thing starting to hash. All right, here we go. 185 mega hash. We're getting 23 and 22.6. So it was getting about 187. It did step down a little bit with the power, and it didn't move the power at all. Power is still holding. Let me make sure we're reset here. Oh yeah, it did. It moved. It moved a lot. 8 cards, folks. 8 cards. 8 cards at 770. And it's still getting 185 mega hash. I'm sorry, NVIDIA, if you're watching. You're going to have no supply of 1060s on this planet now. I'm very sorry. I cannot wait until you and AMD's Polaris put out a mining card that can output faster than that at cheaper prices. I'm just throwing it out there. Don't gouge us. It's not like oil and it's, you know, the end of days and now you're gouging us on pricing here. Let's just make it, you can make some money. We can invest and hopefully make some money as long as crypto stays where it's at. Right there, 60% power consumption TDP. You can see the base clock on this with the enhancement of the 145 is at almost 2,000 megahertz, and we're at plus 750 on the memory. Fan speed's automatic right now. It's about 40% on this. And we're still holding 185 mega hash, and just take one more check at the power. Yep, still holding 771. You know, guys, I can't. I mean, I'm discovering this with you guys. I try to do that legitimately with you guys to show you guys. I'm like, we'll get it working, we'll get it running, and then we'll discover this journey together on some of these things. So I'm actually impressed. 770 is ridiculous on 8 cards. It's just ridiculous. Now, I mean, retrospective, if we look at 470s with the right BIOS on 7 cards, you essentially can get this same 185 mega hash, because those are going to get about 27 and a half, and their power is real low too. So in truth in advertising, you guys that were lucky and kept your 470 rigs, you're living in the world of 770 watts at 185 mega hash, 180 mega hash too. So let's level set here. But not bad for the current offerings that are out there. We did add a ton of cards. If you go to bitsbetrippin.com, we have an Amazon store in there, and all we pretty much do is we link into that. So it's not something that we're managing. It's Amazon that manages that. But we just go in there and we cross-link. So if you go out to Amazon, you do a lot of shopping. If you bounce to BitsbeTrippin, you hit this store, you're essentially on Amazon. When you're doing your checkout and all that, it's all handled by Amazon. So what we try to do is go out there, look at the available inventory. We got folks here that are looking at that, and we're posting it up there and there. So if you go in there and take a look, you're essentially buying it from your Amazon people. You don't have to worry about if I'm waking up in time to ship it to you. It's all being handled by Amazon. So you can go out there and look. There's a ton of these 1060s out there. The 3 gig that we tested before is still working same amount and same power usage, about the same thing. So the 3 gigs are still good. A lot of questions I know coming in with people asking, are the 3 gigs with the DAG file and all that kind of stuff. I mean, there's definitely runway right now. Even if they come out with the next release with Metropolis on Ethereum, and let's say they hold their current schedule based on that, their last dev meeting, and the source information that I'm talking about, I'm not making this up. You go out to the Ethereum developers, it's the Ethereum Foundation's dev. They have like a devlog or devlog live stream that they do. It's Ethereum Foundation's YouTube page. The last one that they had last week, they were talking about when Metropolis would be testing, and that they would be doing the proof of work, proof of stake hybrid testing on testnet. They were still targeting like the end of July into August for testnet. And then you're looking at probably a 90-day test window there, maybe 60 days if they feel comfortable. But this is such a huge change. Not even from a code, it is probably from a code standpoint, but from just a cultural and the world change with Ethereum, that they're going to baby step their way into that. They're not going to just flip a switch. So I can't imagine them doing that. There's a lot of intelligent programs over there. So they're going to have to take their time with it, do it right, get validation on the testnet. So you're looking maybe October in the best case scenario right now from their own words on their devlog. So that's October for proof of work, proof of stake hybrid. So that's a good point. So if you have a 3 gig card, you're still good through at least October. The DAG file, based on the current path right now, it won't hit 3 gig at least until maybe October or maybe November, December. And somebody could fact check us on that. Post it on the page. But I'm thinking it's around December, maybe into January for when we get the DAG over 3 gig. So you're still good. You're looking at an ROI at today's prices on those. And like, literally, I mean, those cards are like what, 189. I think the ones that we were linking this morning were like on our store, I think were $189 to $169 for those 3 gigs, if they're still there. So that's a pretty cheap price point right now to get, you know, a 8-card rig that can run in Windows using the board, the Z270 board that we're talking about here. And even if you don't get the M2 drive, that takes a little bit to get, you're still getting 7 cards here. So, you know, you take 23 from this, you're down to 165 mega hash, and drop another 70 or 80 mega, you're talking 690 watts of power use. I mean, we could, if there was enough rails on a 1,000 watt power supply, you could run this entire thing on one power supply. If there was enough rails, that's your problem right now, is nobody's making power supplies with enough powered riser, you know, PATA and SATA, because you can't run 4. Don't run 4. You're going to burn your machine out, or you're going to burn out your power supply. You got to run at least 2. You can be crazy and try to run 3 and just monitor it. The only ones that I successfully ran 3 cards on the PATA, and what I'm talking about, if you guys are not, some of the newer folks aren't watching, you don't understand. Let me do this and get this connected here. So what I'm talking about, and actually, I could probably do, where's a pack? Just give me a pack of, they're right over here. In there, just like one of them, give me that pack on top. Pack on top. Yeah. There we go. So here we go. This is why it's nice to have some help around here. We're gonna go through a little, now, some of you guys that are out there mining forever, this is gonna be like boring for you, so I'm sorry. But I wanna make sure folks understand what I'm talking about here. So what I'm talking about is one of these wonderful little connectors here that you plug into your power supply to give power for your powered riser. And you get some of them that are like this, to say SATA, and you get some that have 2. Now this is perfect. If these came like this is perfect for mining. And actually, if you're a manufacturer watching, and if you're going to build a power supply that's for mining, to make sure people don't burn their stuff up, just include a whole bunch of these. And then you're forced to use that. But until then, we're going to have to make sure people understand that when you get... Are you kidding me? Do not have any more PATAs in this. Here we go. Here, this one's got 3. So I was looking for one with 4. One got 4. It depends what power supplies. Some of the ones with 1,000-watt power supplies come with 4 because they think that you're going to put 4 hard drives on them. So this one's got like 3. So this one, you only want to use 2. If you use a third one, you have a chance of overheating this, especially with the newer cards, because they're pulling so much. So you're essentially going to be running almost 150 watts through this little guy right here. Not ideal. So on the T, like the T series, like the T1200s and I think they make T1200s, T1600s, these are a lot more beefier, and you can run 3 on them without too much worry because the actual gauge of the cable is a lot higher, and it can handle it. But and I think some of the higher end platinums are okay too. But if you're talking 1,000 watt, 850 watt power supplies, run 2. Save yourself a lot of headache and just run 2. I'm gonna a little shameless plug for SanDisk. I'm gonna take that off the screen. But that's just to make sure you guys aren't burning up your power supplies. Learn from others that have unfortunately found out that that's a bad idea and burned them up, including us. So again, like I said, and I've said it a couple times, it's not that we're experts in this. We just fail often, and we try to report it to you. So I mean, it's about failing fast. It's like agile development. Fail fast. Learn from your mistakes, learn from what happens, and get better at it. And that's okay. That's what makes all of us, better at it. And then we can help you guys and share information. You probably see a lot us comment a lot on our, stuff to make sure people understand that they can get that information. And then that sharing of it. We've learned a lot from you guys too. You guys comment and say, hey, I got that card and here's what I've done and it works a lot better. And usually I say in there, holy crap, dude, that's great. And then we, we'll credit you with that information. And, as we're developing the website, and I've been talking about it for a couple weeks, but as we're starting to get that kind of wrapped up, a lot of that source information, if we pull it from somebody else or we see it, we're going to put out there and give you guys credit on it. We want to help just channel that good information out to the community and make sure that, it helps everybody. It helps the manufacturers, because when people ain't burning stuff up and then trying to take the stuff back through Micro Center or somebody else and be like, oh, dude, I don't know, it just caught fire. Because, they're going to catch on, and all they're going to do is just ding us all, right? So if we can take a responsibility of making sure we have the right power to these things, the right setup, and, manage it appropriately, I think the manufacturers and the folks start working a lot better with this, give us better options, and it's good for the whole community. So enough for the public service announcement. So let's get back into this little build here so we can wrap up, because I'm going to try to wrap this part up at the hour mark, and then we'll do like a half-hour question and answer, and I'll just watch the chat and we'll talk through it and see if we can get some stuff answered for you guys.
I just want to double check. There may have been 2 super chats that came through about 2 minutes ago that we may have missed.
I will look at the super chats right now and I will get them answered. Yes, totally make fun of my website. It helps me with all the people that are helping me with it, makes them more motivated to help me get out of that blogger site. I am embarrassed that the fact that we are running on a blogger site. Hey, you know what? So if you're a blogger person,
my fault.
That's not Jason's fault. We are working on a website that I think you guys will really like. I've kept a database for years of my problems that I've had with rigs and stuff that I just kind of keep here. I want to share that information with you guys without a paywall. So I'm going to try to put that out there, try to put a nice website together, something that's collaborative, something that's kind of like a GitHub type of thing where we can share information. I don't plan putting any kind of paywall on that. what I want to try to do is try to bring that information, kind of get more into this industry, and gives us this thing. If the public chain becomes a platform, the genuine platform, versus all the little private chains that are out there right now of all the companies that are putting together software and packages using blockchain tech. A lot of that stuff that's happening right now is on a private chain. It's not on the Ethereum public chain. There's a big difference. It is essentially the same code, but they can generate all the Ethereum they want, and they can write their smart contracts, and they can do all their work kind of like in a test bed. Think of it like test, right? Do we have that little marker board down here? I can search it.
No, it's upstairs.
That's okay. We'll save that for another one, because I could go through a whole explanation of how the mechanics of the blockchain work with regards to what we're doing as miners, and if that kind of infrastructure gets put onto the public chain, what it means for everybody. So if you guys want a video like that, my background is a lot of development work. This is like hobby stuff. So if that's a video you guys would want to see, we could do a separate kind of video. It's kind of off the character of this channel, but let me know if you guys want to see that, and I can probably characterize of what that means if like big companies start to move their stuff on public chain. But setting these up and then working with the industry to try to get some more pointed hardware, I think, is where we're at now, and I'm really excited for it. I'm really sad for the gamers right now, especially if you're a gamer kind of jumping on the channel to throw some hate in the chat. Is not a troll box right now. You guys are awesome in there right now, but pretty soon here it's going to hit critical mass, and then we're going to have a lot of people in here like, I hate you guys, I can't find cards, and I don't want that, right? I mean, that sucks. So
bring on the mining cards.
Yeah, bring on the mining cards. I'm ready for some mining cards. I don't know if anybody else is, or mining mode something, and go press some more hardware. It sounds like, and we like the game. I mean, there's maybe one day we'll do like a cribs BBT style, and I'll show you guys kind of the 10 computer setups here that we have down here with gaming and all that kind of stuff. So we do that stuff too. So we do respect the gamer. We do try to do a lot of gaming too, as much as we can. But this is where it's at right now. I mean, is focus and all that attention. So we've been letting this run for a little bit. Still holding some pretty good power. I'm gonna switch gears back again. Let's get nice hash. You know what? Let's go to Z miner first, and then we'll go back to nice hash. So this is ZEC miner 0.3.3B, and we're doing the mining hub right out of the gate. So I'll show you kind of the specs here. Right there, beast mode. So that's what we're mining to. It's US East equal hash. Nothing special. That password don't matter. Don't worry, you're not going to hack anything. It's just if you want to copy that and point your rig there, that's okay. I'm not gonna say no. That's my password. Go for it. So right here, it looks like 23. So nice hash was getting a little more on this build. It looks like 308 on that one, 269. I got some slackers here. Nice hash seemed to be a little more. So 2,300 souls. This is about 2,500 soul system right now with the 8 cards. Again, these are 1060s. 1070s right now is the sweet spot. So if you can find 1070s, they output a lot more, a lot better. They're a lot more cost. I mean, these at one point were 270, 260 bucks. I think they're like 290 now, 299, somewhere around there. Might be able to find some cheaper ones. I think we did link some on the store today that were 274, the 6 gigs, and then again the 3 gigs are cheaper. But let's check the power. Grab the power down here. We're looking at 760. As I was kind of looking back here, what's my thoughts on Micro Center changing their pricing scheme for 1, 2, 3 plus cards? So okay, I'll bite. I think that. So in my history, in my day job, at one point, I was a pricing manager for a very large company. So I get a margin play, and that's what this is. There's guys that sit in the back room in these big companies, and they watch what they call S&Is, sales and inventory. And they'll see if there's a marker that comes up that says, wait a minute here, why is this year over year a lot higher than what it was? So then they start asking some questions, they do some market research. So what they'll do is they'll look at what their average supply is, and they'll make a mark of changing, they'll set a price target to try to get some margin. So from a concept of owning a company and trying to make some money, it was a no-brainer that they were going to raise prices. If there's a hot car out there, a dealer raises a price. It's the way it is, right? We pay at a premium. Usually, whatever you're mining or whatever you're doing in life in general is like that premium here will hold on and allow you, like the price will maybe go up of what you're doing because now it's more expensive to use that product. There's usually a reciprocal effect is what I'm trying to say. So in crypto, it's a lot. The fact that we're paying more expensive cards for mining has absolutely nothing to do with that price, because the people buying essentially the coins, we're supplying the coins. So the people buying the coins are different parties, so they're driving the price up differently. So it's disconnected when it comes to that kind of stuff. So the fact that they're going to make a margin play on it, all we can hope for is a lift in price or a reduction in difficulty, which is, as long as price is high, difficulty is going to be high, and it's going to be growing too. So it's like this. It's like measuring CPI in the world and the whole consumer price index. And as long as it's kind of following it, if price is going up, it's relative. But some of their latest changes with regards to if you buy 2 cards and then the third one's like whatever, like $10,000. I don't know if that's a thing still. That's just crazy. That's kind of anti-competitive. I mean, it's not a necessity, so it's not price gouging. Like if there's a fuel shortage and then, gas at the pumps, $8.50, and now you got like the Federal Trade Commission coming in there and shutting them down because they're like gouging people. Since it's not a necessity, technically it's their asset. They want to do what they want to do. As a previous pricing person and a margin person from a large company standpoint, I would say somebody had some influence there that was probably a margin and pricing guy, and I would say in a couple weeks when their sales start to plummet or the consumer reacts differently where they bring in 4 friends and you're going to have like each person buying 2 cards, either people are going to circumvent it or you're going to disencourage people to go somewhere else if there's other supply somewhere. And then if they have a drop in sales and revenue based on their curve that they had, then that pricing guy's probably going to get smacked around a little bit and pricing's going to change back to reality. So it's probably a short-term gain, long-term loss for them, or it's just going to be this period of time to where you're not going to have a lot of volume come through the store. The people that really get hurt by that, not just the miners, maybe the gamers now have a few more extra cards, is the salespeople that are there. So, if they're relying on that for their income, it kind of sucks for them. So I have a feeling that people are probably, because the prices of the way they are in Ethereum and stuff, people are going to work around it. It's just the way it is. I mean, you're not going to stop that flood of folks coming in. They're going to bring in their cousin, their mother, their everybody. So, and there's not short of just outright discrimination and outright just targeting, profiling. Hey, you can't do that. I know what you guys are doing. Somebody's making an assumption there, and it gets kind of sketchy. So I think the answer is you're just going to have to bring 4 friends, and you're going to have to get it. I mean, it's just because somebody else is going to do that. So. That's my thoughts on that. Looking at some other questions. I think we're running through this. Let's do a couple more tests on this, and then we'll get into the actual question to answer, and then show down. We got about 4 minutes left on this. I wanted to show you guys this build. Let's do a. Let's do nice hash again, and I'm going to open up the other algorithms on it. I did want to do, I'm not going to do it for this live stream, but we probably will have another one tomorrow. I want to go through a comprehensive dual mining configuration setup and how to do it with your cards. Just take the basic concept of dual mining and really kind of do a comprehensive video of that for you guys. Let me know if you think that you want to see that. It gives you a little more output from your cards. You will spend a little more power, but actually show you guys how to set it up, how to get a wallet configured, all that kind of stuff. So let me know if that would be a good video, and if you guys would want something like that tomorrow for that section. I want to get it set up, I want to get it pre-configured, and then we'll walk through how I did the configuration. That way you guys know how to do it. But let me know if you guys want to see that for a different video. This one's more pointed to this 8-card build. And actually, we'll probably use this one, and I have another one back here. These are 580s, actually not plugged in right now, with 1000 and a 650 P2. These are the XFX. It's an XFX build, the 588 gigs. I was gonna try to do that one tonight, but I'm actually having some issues with it, so I want to walk through some of the issues in a different video. It's the TB250 board, and it doesn't really like that M2 drive that we have on it, and right now it's just 6 cards. I'd really like to have the 7th card on that, so I'm going to work through the issues, find out what that issue was, and then get it fixed, and then show you guys how we had to fix that. But let's go through here and change some settings in here. So I'm enabling these other algorithms on each of the cards, and we'll let it go through, and I'll answer some questions as it's going through and doing this, and we can kind of see what I'm doing here is on NiceHash. You can come in here and add all these different coin algorithms, so it goes through and it will switch to the most profitable. And I'm doing this that way we can see what an 8-card 1060 at this point in time can do from an output standpoint. Get these a lot of these questions I've asked too, I know some of you guys have responded in the chat, and since it's scrolling, what I would say is if you really want to know an answer, or if you're trying to respond to me on something specific that I asked, you can send us an email or you can make a post. We have a Discord channel on our webpage now. We have, you can go on our page and you can hit the Discord link, and I'll try to drop in there and answer some questions. We've had a few folks help us set it up with all the right, categories and sections inside of the Discord channels of, like deals and troubleshooting and all that kind of stuff, and try to make it like a community where you guys can come in there, ask questions and all that kind of stuff too. So you can join us on that. Let's see here. We're gonna let this run. Yes. Now that's gonna take a cool minute. It's got to run through 55 steps here, so I'm gonna answer some questions why that's doing that, and then we'll let it start mining, and then we'll close out this out. I answer the questions, and when this starts back up, then we'll play with a few of the settings. We'll see if we can max this setting out until it starts to artifact and see what these things can actually output, so you will see what the maximum potential of these are tonight and then we'll wrap up the live stream. That's a little zoomed in. Let's check the live stream. Oh, wow, we got 223 people in here. What's up? So let's go through some questions, guys. I know you guys got some questions. There's 200 people in here. Is it possible to run more than 10 GPUs in Linux? Yes. And once our M2 drive, I have no idea where it's been at, but I think it's supposed to be here hopefully by Monday. But I got the expanders that take you from 1 to 3 PCI slots. I got like literally I think like 4 of them coming in. I'm going to take one of these boards with the 2 M2 drives of that 9 card setup that we have, and I'm going to try to expand that all the way out to 14. We're going to see if we can go one over. I think that the new ASRock board's 13, right? That's confirmed, right? There's a 13 board. I'm going to see if I can do 14 in Linux. And you believe me, whenever we get that, I'm going to have a live stream like probably that night the second I set it up and show you guys 14 cards. We got that 14 card rig. Well, if we can get it on one board, I'm going to show you that. Let's see here. I got a super chat. No way. Adelphia, or what was that? Alpida 580? Heck no. Which John Anderson, what brand do you have of that? Tell us the brand. We might actually have a thing for it. I know you guys got some more questions. And don't be shy. We love the super chats. You guys are going to see some pretty epic videos. I'm working on a couple. I got 3 already kind of mocked up of what we're going to be covering. I'm getting some graphics art. So we've gotten about, in the last 3 live streams, I think we've gotten about $240 in super chat. So what I'm going to try to do is publish that. So when you guys give us a super chat, we put that into a bucket, and then I'm using that to get other things produced. So that's just not going into somebody's coffers here. It's actually getting right back out to you guys for better content. So I value that. Oh, 1070. Oh. So the first super chat guy gave us the $2. Tell me what RX 580 you got, and we probably have a BIOS for that.
Oh my God.
Let's see here. 100 rubes. What's that? My 1070 only mine's 2.5. I reset last week. Haven't fixed. Have a new motherboard. Still having the issue. Asus 78 gigabit. So the cash money. Are you plugged? So the card that's having the 2.5 mega hash. If you have that card, if you unplug all your cards, do you still have the issues? First question. 2, if you don't have that issue, on the card that's giving you the 2.5 mega hash, it should be a lot cooler. If you plug in your video on that and turn on your motherboard to where you're not using your onboard, let it discover where the video needs to be displayed and plug it into that card. See if you're still getting 2.5 after that. How much would it cost me to take a rig off of one that we have? Guys, if I could get cards, you know, I'd like, what my goal eventually was is to have the site set up, and then we could build some rigs and post them up there that are reasonably priced. That, you know, that are really close to a retail plus a little bit of our labor cost, and then just churn them out for you guys. And you guys would see the margin, you guys would see a basic understanding of what we were out there. We're not out to price gouge you guys. But bottom line, I can't get cards. I mean, you guys see a lot of cards here. It looks like a lot. We were out shopping months ago to get a lot of this stuff, or had put orders in. We're having the same problems you guys are. So we're going out to, that's why we're out there scanning out on our store. We go out to Micro Center on the regular, but now they've changed some of their policy. And if I could get them on a regular basis from you guys, we would absolutely do that and help, you know, turn out some stuff, get them working, and then get them shipped to you guys. It's just, we don't get a lot. Oh my God, there's just, what was the
Radeon RX 580? That's the LP to memory card.
John Anderson, I got a BIOS for that. Send us an email. Say, hey, I'm John Anderson. I sent the super chat. bitsbetrippin@gmail.com. And I got a 4 gig BIOS for that RX card. That'll get you probably around 29 mega hash. So send us an email. We'll make sure we get it out there. And on this video, we'll post it for everybody else too. So that's the trigger for us to remember that. Short of Jason writing it down, is we're on the board before we won't forget. That's why we have our whiteboard. We're writing the XFX 580 4 gig. I know we have a BIOS for that with the LP to memory. I know we got a 29 mega hash BIOS for that. What is... I'm getting what... Rubes?
That is Russian rubles.
Russian rubles. You got Russian rubles. Is there a question? I want to answer the question. It's all the cards I've tried doing one by itself. I can think of like 3 things that you can do to cash money. After this live stream, I know which email you have. We're gonna respond back with like 4 or 5 things that I think you can do, and I'll take a small little video because I think I can replicate the issue that you're having on one of the other rigs. I had a 2.5 mega hash issue with one, and I'm gonna show you how I fixed that, and maybe that'll help you. So Dakota Brown, we'll get that fixed. The 580 GTR 2200 memory BIOS and the links. That's on the, I believe that's on the XFX video. It's the live stream that we did, the FX or XFX. We need to switch that because it's pointing to the wrong upload. Luke Cage, great name. First off, do you do online 1 to 2 hour sessions maybe to help fix cars? So I have helped people locally. So in the Discord channel, I had a few people ask me, and I worked through some stuff with them. If I can fix your problem in like 10-15 minutes, right now I've just been trying to help you guys fix it. You guys don't have to pay anything or anything like that. I'll see if I can help you guys. I've responded to a lot of emails, and I'm trying to get that out there for you guys. If something's more complex, you have several rigs and you just can't get them to work, drop us a line and say, hey, we're trying to just get this done. I know a few people already have it. I'm going to respond to you. And then maybe we can work out something. If it takes an hour or something, we can work some time out. Maybe do it through like a Skype session or something. We are open to that.
Super chat, $5.
Super chat, $5.
Angel Mendez.
Angel Mendez. I had a developer that worked for me at one time. His name was Angel. I'm about to purchase 6 EVGA 1080s. So if you haven't purchased the 1080s, unless you're getting a stellar deal, pat the brakes on the 1080s. Either get 4 1080 Ti's, and you know, there's around the same cost. I think it's about the same cost if you get minus $1,200. Or find some 1070s that are not gouging price. You're gonna like the 1070s a lot better. They do their DDR5 works a lot better. You can get 10. Like I have 7 1080s in another rig, and they're getting like 25 mega hash. That's it on Ether. The 1070s that I have, the Zotacs, are getting 31, or almost 32 mega hash. So there's 7 mega hash per card difference between the 1070s and the 1080s. 1080 Ti's, on the other hand, whole different story. A lot better. You can get 37 mega hash on Ether with 1080 Ti. So if unless you got a stellar deal on 1080s, guys, leave the 1080s for the gamers. And with regards to a 1200, 6 of them must stay on a 1200. The TIs, you're not going to get 6 of them on a 1200. You're going to, actually, I don't even think a 1200 actually has enough connectors. You're going to have to go to a 1600 or 50 AX 1500, which is a very expensive power supply. Corsair, bring your price down. I'll buy the crap out of them. $440 or $450, I think. What's the Corsair AX 1500i? It's like $434 or something like that. $420. Yeah, that's expensive. I mean, when you can get a 1600 T2, which is a titanium. Well, the Corsair 1500 is a titanium too now, isn't it? They just changed the label because it used to be a platinum. You know, you can get it for 404. I'm just saying, 1600 watts that can reach up to 2,000, almost to a 20 amp circuit. Corsair, your right pricing for that, and you'd have a lot more cells, is if you dropped it to about, at the high point, about 375, and if you discounted it down to 349, they'll fly off the shelves.
Reggie James, super chat.
Thanks for the BIOS yesterday. Running hot, but getting, you gotta put a cooler on that, Reggie.
Box fan.
You gotta put a box fan, man. These folks, and hey, that's another thing on the. I know it seems like I'm pimping our website, guys, and I'm sorry for that. I'm trying to channel the right information through there. So in the store, I know it sounds like I'm. In the store, I have a cooling section, and there's a lot of different cooling options, different BTU settings, and we are going to have an episode. I'm actually trying to get a heating and cooling guy out here that can help kind of tag team with me to explain cooling on this. We're actually going to take a measurement of the actual outputs of the cards to figure out how many BTUs they're putting out on like a 6-card rig. A lot of people have asked me this, so I'm going to try to bring this for you guys with an actual cooling expert. It's not me. I'm not your cooling expert. What I do is if I get hot, I add more cooling. That's about as simple as it gets when it comes to me with cooling. So I'm going to bring a person that's an expert in the industry that would go solve server room type of cooling, and we're going to kind of go through an episode of that. I think it'd be good for you guys. It'd be targeted mainly for miners, just not some dude talking about, you know, server cooling, but actually taking a measurement of a rig, looking in a room and trying to get a good cooling solution. That way you're not overbuying it, and then you can find something that's more targeted for your space. So I'm trying to keep him kind of, you know, this space, this much output BTU from this, and what am I going to need to replace that? That's optimized for cost, because a cooling mechanism, if it's a window air conditioning unit or a portable rolling one, it's all an operation expense to us. It's just another thing that we got to buy to make sure that these things run right? It's just an additional cost. So getting that as cheap and as efficient as possible is key. So we did add a whole bunch of different cooling options out there. If you need to get one that's quick, you can go out there and look. There's a whole bunch of different things to choose from. Window units, rolling units, and all that. But that's more for Reggie to keep that thing cool. And thanks for that super chat, buddy. We're gonna turn this into some good stuff. Yeah, but I can't tell you how many questions we've gotten about cooling your area or just changing it up. Because houses and apartments were not designed for this kind of stuff at all. And it's great in the winter if you're up in the north, in the U.S. If you're up the north, or if you're up in Sweden. I really don't know what the temperatures are. I know it looks cold. I watch Top Gear. But you know, if you can heat your house with this, probably not the most efficient way, but at least you're not running your heater. But in the summertime, the cooling is a big subject to talk to. What else? What other questions we got? Is this thing done running? Look at that, 20. That thing takes a cool minute. Should I buy it? Let's see, how to go under volt, flash. Should I buy 580s at $315 a card? That's, you know, I hate the fact that 580s were like $264 and now they're $315. But if you really do the math of what they're outputting, it's expensive. But let's take a little trip through memory lane real quick and look at these R9 290s. Or this is a 390. That's not a fair comparison. This is a 390 8 gig. The base price of these, when these first came out, I believe were $329-ish. I think I got some. Do you remember what those were? What we paid for 390s? I think they were about $329 when they first came out.
When I bought my 390X, it was $420.
Well, 390X different, a little more expensive.
Right.
So I mean, buying a card now for $319 that puts, or $315 that puts out the same, it's decent. I mean, we were buying cards at a less of a margin. Think of that. You're talking $8 and $15 Ethereum. Now, granted, one rig could pull 90 Ethereum a month, but you were talking at $8 a coin, right? So it's just a math problem. You do the math. If you look at March of 16, you could pull on a full rig like this 80 coins at, even if it was $10, you're talking $800. So
with a 580 right now, mining Ethereum, you should be able to recoup your costs of the cards within 6 weeks.
Yeah. So I mean, at $315, it's still worth it right now, and that's on $270 pricing, not today's crazy world where it's $340 or $330 or whatever.
I'm taking into account the fact that Ethereum right now is $320, and if you buy a card for $315, a 6-card rig does about 1 Ethereum a week.
Yeah, I just saw another super check come in. What do you think about MXM laptop cards and miners? I haven't really tested. You know, somebody asked me this before about getting buying the daughter cards that come with the. I think they're the Alienware, like the GTX 1070s. Like, we have an Alienware, and I did some testing just to see what it could do. I do not recommend mining with your laptop. I don't recommend mining with your laptop. I don't recommend mining with your laptop.
bitsbetrippin does not condone the.
I do not condone what happens if you. I did it just to show you that it could, but it doesn't mean to do it. But about getting those separately, if you could order those and then having like hook them up to another motherboard and just have them kind of out there, that's an interesting build concept, thinking about it. If you could get the prices down, but the problem is you're going to need to put those, you're going to have to marry those up. I think you can get them in PCIe. I don't know, I'll have to do some research and see. If we can get them at a decent price point, it might make sense, but John, that's a good question. I want to just make sure if we can get that on the board. Maybe we can do some research on that. The GTX 1070 PCI Express slotted cards from the, I think the PCI Express. They might have their own proprietary connection.
GTX
1070 laptop MXM. We'll take a look. Oh, I got Angel. My 6 GPU MSI are using simple mining, overclock, strict goes down, but once the others should do great. Should I just place the stricts? No, what's probably going on is your stricts, Angel. First question: anybody that's mining multiple different cards using simple mining, you got to make sure you're pushing the right settings to the right card. And the problem is if you add one and then you add another, sometimes they'll, I don't know why, but sometimes I've seen it, at least the switch position. It's just, I don't know if it's just the way Simple Mining's OS boots up and then reprioritizes it. But I've had, like, example, I had a 570 and I had a 580, and then I had a different branded 580 that needed to run a little different settings, and I stair stepped them, but then position 3 and position 2 switched on me. But you gotta find out which card's in what position, and you gotta push the separate settings to each one. So make sure you're not trying to push all the same settings to the different cards. That's the first thing, Angel. The second thing is make sure that if the card that keeps dying, if the Asus card's dying, if I have a card that dies in a mixed build, I will pull all the other cards. I will just run that one card by itself and then see if it's maybe the settings or the BIOS. So make sure the card's stable by itself and not predicated the fact that it's with other cards. Because more than likely it has nothing to do with the other cards, unless you're trying to push the same setting to all of them. What else we got? This thing's at 28 of 55. That's a long... It's benchmarking each algorithm across everything. So once this is done, we'll get a good output on these. That is taking a cool minute. Let's make sure it's not froze up. Nope. That's moving. Let's run the task manager. Yeah, it's doing its thing. Guys, we're going to tally all this super chat up. I'm going to see what this contribution is, and that will help get this comprehensive page that we're putting together. Because I take that again and I distribute that back to the guys. And don't worry, Jason, you're gonna get. He's like, where's my money?
I need to eat.
He needs to eat. Are the Armor 588 gigs louder? I don't have any Armor. Do we have any Armor? We don't have any Armor 580s, I don't think. The MSI Armors. I have Armors over there, but those are 570s. I have a 570 rig with. I don't have the 580s, so I can't tell you if they're. Can I buy those 390s? I don't know. Maybe we'll catch money. You missed my super chat, so I have to spend it again. I can pay $100 an hour to one hour. The cash money, we'll do a Skype session. We'll schedule it after this, and we'll help you get that taken care of. And once we find that out, we'll let people know this 2.5. What I want to try to do is catalog it and make sure on how we got it to work and get through it. So we will do this. Would you recommend an AR over the MSC? I keep talking about the carbon. We haven't got. Let's make sure if we need to write on that board. I'm gonna run to Micro Center tomorrow. I'm gonna bring the camera with me, so I'll get a little vlog video too. I'm gonna get a carbon. So we need to get an Asus an MSI Z170A carbon or gaming pro carbon. I've seen a lot of people use this board. We haven't used it yet. I want to get one. I'm gonna buy it, and we're gonna bring it over here, and we're gonna do a thing on it. We will pick it up. That super chat's driving it. It's gonna be used as part of that purchase. We're gonna buy that board, and we're gonna do a thing on it. And I've been working on the TB250. Again, that's back here on this board. I got most of it recorded. I'm gonna do a deep dive on the 250. Again, I am having an issue with it right now with the PCI Express card, the M2 drive. I got everything else working on it. It works great as 6 cards. I add that M2 drive and it's just dumping errors and simple lining. It might be a Linux thing. We're gonna look into it, but I just got to work through the issues and then I can get it posted to you guys. But I want to make it as part of that TB250, as part of the comprehensive overview, saying here's what we did, here's how we got it. But I got some more work on that one. But we'll do that to the Carbon board also. So I know a lot of people are asking me about that MSI Z170A Carbon board. Oh yeah, they're saying it's out of stock everywhere. Hopefully we can get one at Micro Center tomorrow. I don't know if they have that board. We'll see if they do. If they do, we'll pick it up. Is that a AMD board?
Which one?
The Carbon? No, it was the Z170, so it should be Intel. Yeah, don't worry. Carter, will somebody be answering questions in Discord? Yes, so what I'll do is we're going to wrap this up here once I go through a few more things with this. It's at 34:55 for the people keeping count there. We'll go through this a little bit. We'll take probably a half-hour break after this, and then I'll jump into Discord for a little bit, and I'll answer some questions in there too. So, again, for the folks that are just joining and didn't know, bitsbetrippin.com. You go onto that page. We have a Discord server on there. We'll try to jump in there and answer some questions and stuff. You can just get right in there. We'll talk. Yes, Blueberry Jay. Yeah, you can send. Let me add this. Let me add you as a mod. Blueberry's been helping us out. You can. You should be able to send the link down.
Z270 carbons are in stock, Z170 carbons are not.
Z270s are in stock, Z170s are not.
Yes.
Well, it's because the 170s are cheaper. There shouldn't be any difference between the two. There is some difference in the... I'll pick up one of the 270s just for spite. I keep running in this little fan. Because like when you get the H170, even the BIOS is a little different on this. Like the 4G decoding's under the boot, I think, or it's somewhere else. It's a little different. So if I do a comprehensive video, I really want the 170A, but I'll see if I can find one. Thanks. Blueberry got the link of the Discord channel in there. I think I can get that link changed. Blueberry, let me know if I can get that link changed. Do I need to register it professionally or something, or like pay for it? I want to get that changed to like discord.bitsbetrippin.
It's a third-party site, but yes.
Third party?
And it's free.
Yeah. Yeah, I want to, if it's a premium or something, I want to get that changed. Yeah, that's what Blueberry's putting in there. That's the Discord channel. So if you guys click on that, if you don't have Discord, we'll be in there about a half hour, 45 minutes after. We'll probably jump in there, but I'm not going to be responding right away. We're going to get something to drink, and then I'm going to probably send at the end of this. I'm going to send you guys over to. I don't know if Digital Gold's been in here or not. Oh, great! We got a spammer. Online jobs. Nuke him. Ban him. And he's been timed out. You can get a GoDaddy domain and have it redirected to the link for $1. Yeah, we'll work on that. I'm gonna get that done. So, where's this thing at? 36? Okay. I don't know if Digital Gold's in here tonight, but you can go out there, check their site out, YouTube channel. We went in there last night. It was pretty funny on their channel, and just kind of gave them some super chats, help the community out a little bit. But they got a pretty funny channel. They got what they call the mine, which is their space and stuff. You can, again, their links in our channel. Subscribe to them, give them some love. Don't buy a domain from GoDaddy. Would there be any benefits of 8 cards for gaming? No. I just think there's 0. They don't make games that do any more than really SLI 2 card anymore. You could do like 3 or 4 card, and I mean, I was the kind of guy that would go out and get that kind of stuff just to see. I mean, I think back in the, God, I can't even remember what those, what was the old 6800s, Ultras? God, yeah, that was the first SLI cards I had. But then they went to the 290. GTX 295, not to be confused with the 295s from AMD. I did a quad fire on those, and it was the worst experience of my life. Like, everything crashed, never worked. 2 cards at max for either brand is really where you should probably go. You get very little benefit from going 3 card. 8 cards are not for gaming. There are mining builds, and actually I do have a build that's in process where it's going to be a 2 card mining rig. It's in an open air case, but essentially it's using the direct, it's using some of these guys here, it's an older ribbon style cable, but it's the full 16X ribbon cable. But it's essentially going to be a small little open air mining frame with 2 cards in it and 2 of these guys to give you the full bandwidth for gaming. So like you can mine at night and you can have the open air case. So we're going to bring that build for you guys later this week. Again, using the large, the reason why we use these ones, the ribbon, is this gives you the full 16X channel. And I actually benchmark part of that video that I've already started recording with that, is taking this cable and actually benchmarking the 2 cards in a case, and then turn around and doing this in the open air frame and benchmarking it again and showing next to no change in the frame rates. So it's kind of a modern day gamer / miner for a night, and then it can keep it cool.
Super chat.
Oh, I'll get a super chat. Where can I get a guide to modding H81 BTC 250? I think you just mix 2 boards. Where can I get a guide to modding the BIOS on an H81? So you don't mod the BIOS on the motherboard. You download the latest BIOS for the motherboard. That's it. Don't mess with any of the modding on the motherboard. And then you modify the BIOS on the RX 570s. And just hit some of our links, look up the brand of the RX that the RX 570s that you have, and see if we have done a BIOS, or if reach out to us on bitsbetrippin.com with the brand and model number, and I'll point you to the right BIOS link for your card. Blueberry just forwarded up a really good site that has a lot of BIOSes on there, and this guy's really good. I'm going to try to reach out to him actually, because we're starting to try to build, as part of our site, a space to have a lot of the BIOSes that we've verified that we've used. But this person's site that Blueberry just linked has a ton of really good BIOSes out there that we've tested with our stuff. And so essentially, if we've used any of his BIOSes, I put in there that it's BBT verified. I think in the last episode that we just did, on the I think it was a 570. But anyway, there's a BIOS in there, and underneath I have his link, that same link, to show that, hey, this is his. We verified it. It's his BIOS. Does the H2 have any hard workarounds for making APUs work? The H270 Plus, I don't think that has. Does it have? I thought that only has 6. I don't have an H270 here. I'll have to look. I thought it only had 6 slots, and then it had 2 M2 drives, would make it 8. Right? Is that right? You just the key part about the Z series, at least the Z series, you just got to make sure the M2 drive is set to PCIe inside the BIOS, and it's 2x, not 4x. Yeah, as the 2 M2 drives. You just need to make sure the BIOS is set to 2x and that it's set to PCI. And right now it comes defaulted to auto. That doesn't work. Make sure it's set. Actually, I don't know if it doesn't work. I just went in there and changed it to PCIe. So just change that. Chris Taylor, thank you. Thank you for the $5 super chat. we'll keep these things coming. We want to make sure you guys are educated on this. As we run into it again, we fell often. And I want to bring the successes or how it got us to success to you guys. Again, free on YouTube. The super chats are much appreciated. 48 of 55, we're almost there. And we're going to tax these cards out. This is really going to close out the episode. Once we get this done, we're going to see what the max profitability. So I'm going to walk you through the next probably 5 minutes. We're going to walk you through the max profitability of this particular rig using nice hash across all the algorithms. So we're going to see whatever the current best algorithm there is. It's going to start hashing on it. You'll see what the output of that is. Then we're going to bring the notch up on these things and see what kind of power and see what kind of output they can get until we start to get into kind of artifacts and see what the max load of memory and GPU clock is on these Asus Strix. Again, these are the cards that we're looking at for the folks that have no idea what I've been talking about this whole time on this 8-card rig. So let's see. Yeah, if you've joined this channel while we're waiting for this thing to come up, and you're wondering like, who's this dude and why is he talking about 8 cards on one machine? This is for crypto mining, mainly Ethereum, Zcash, Monero, Scicoin, Library Coin, a lot of different cryptos out there. And I guess the number one question a lot of people ask me is like, why in the hell would I want to do this? I mean, granted, you can make money on it. Is you're upholding a platform. That is what this does. For your cost of building this, for your cost of paying for power for it, and for doing this, is upholding the actual platform that these coins, the smart contract stuff on a public chain, if and when a company decides or a government decides or whoever wants to decide to actually put an application on that main chain, these things will process all that activity. So you're producing the actual fuel on Ethereum, which is it's a commodity-based coin, and you're upholding that platform. You're decentralizing it. Your machines are performing a service. You are part of the infrastructure. You are providing a service. Nothing more, nothing less. That's exactly what it is in its most purest form. You're providing a service that a platform will allow smart contracts to flow through. That's essentially what you're doing. So it's not just pulling money out of thin air. It's if somebody starts to leverage and use that service. Right now it's very speculative, and that's what made a lot of the price go up. Because a lot of the efforts that you see out there on the channel are out there on the internet of what, JP Morgan with Zcash. You see Microsoft Azure Cloud providing with the Ethereum Foundation a platform to do private chain testing. Essentially, it's folks shaking it out and having it in private chain. The difference on private chains is private chains don't have the security of a decentralized currency. Essentially, if you could get into that private chain and throw a lot of hash power to it, you could go back and rewrite the blockchain. Because if you were doing it very mischievous and you have the right programming folks that can target and rewrite transactions, it's not just as simple as pushing a lot of hash power to it. But the private chains, again, are disconnected from the net in their own VMs and running, and that's great if you want to have your little private cloud. But if they ever wanted to run stuff on a public cloud, which once you start getting into general supply chain, you need to start adding third-party vendors. That's what the speculative nature of Ethereum and why some of these pricings are going up from what people are talking about. They're doing all their testing in private chains. The second they move to a public chain, now you have an actual service. It's your graphics cards, your machines, and even if Ethereum goes proof of stake, it first goes proof of hybrid, and it gets an actual somebody on there. Somebody's consuming those coins as fuel. So that's what's driving the value. You're providing a service. So that's what these machines do. 53 of 55. Longest test ever. Can you run GTA with this? It's moved to GTA. It used to be Minecraft, right? It's like, can Minecraft run on this?
Yeah.
Yes, they can. And you know what? If you go back, I have a video from 2014, I think, that I went ahead and took the bait, and I did a benchmark. I did 3D Mark. I did a whole bunch of gaming on it, And I just looked at on the 1X connection, like what kind of games, and I was surprised on what you could do on that 1X. Wow, we're mining, boys. Oh, it's building it. It's generating the DAG. It looks like it's gonna. It's of course it picks Ethereum. I'll go and uncheck Ethereum here in a second. No, it's stair stepping it. We'll let it stair step it all the way up. It should end up what I'm going to uncheck Ethereum here in a second. I'm just going to let it go all the way up. It should get to 100 or 184, 185 is what it was doing on the other.
Switched.
It already switched?
It's mining something in gigahash now.
Yeah, but it's going to go for the targeted best 31. My main thing is the reason why I selected this is I wanted to let Nice Hash for the folks that don't know. Nice Hash has a handful of different algorithms that it can run against a whole bunch of different coins. And if I go in here to check my stats online, let's do this. I don't know if this is going to be zoomed in right. Might have to zoom out. But I'm going to show folks what we're talking about here. So as you can see, all these different algorithms, and this is kind of unpaid. So I've let a few of these rigs run on Nice Hash for the last few days just to see. And this is the kind of unpaid balances. We're going to get a balance payout on 6/13. It's 6/10 right now. So right now, the next balance payout right now is we're going to get almost 0.099 BTC. Almost a full 0.1 BTC, which is $280. So I've let probably 2 rigs run on this, which was, I think I got a 1080 rig running on this, and maybe a couple other 1080 Ti's, and I think that's it. I actually might have a few more. Let me look here. I think I can go in and see what all I got on this right now. This machine right now is averaging about $33 a day right now on the most. Am I in the right? Yeah, here it is. So this 8-card rig right now is earning about that right now on Nice Hash. And this changes. I mean, this changes based on price. When Ethereum was a little lower, you know, it was maybe $26, $27. It's up a little more because Ethereum's up. So this is relative to current price, but we have right now in the open balance about 210. That's kind of unpaid, and we're targeted by 613 based on the total output that we have right now. We'll end up with 280, and that's going to be paid out in Bitcoin directly. I don't have a ton of machines on this, but it kind of shows you the different algorithms that have been paying out. You know, like most of it's been. Oh, look at that library was a lot of it. $104 worth, $80 worth of Unihash. Ethereum actually was only 8% of the total balance on this. Let me do display overall data. I think that will give me. Actually, I think if I click the actual, here's the workers. Yeah, so I only have actually 2 machines running on this right now. I have this 1060 rig, which right now is not really reflecting what it's done, but just recently. And I have the wife's computer with, I don't even know what she's got in there. I think she got a 1080, and it's not overclocked. So, you know, the wife's computer has to keep the case side on. So, you know, I can't get proper cooling on it. So I just let it run and let it manage. But yeah. So that's really what I wanted to see with that. Now let's go ahead and try to juice this thing up. I wanted to see what the output is for you guys on 8 cards on a 1060 rig to kind of set your understanding. Nice Hash likes to restart it if you stop it. So what we're going to do now is we're going to bring up Afterburner. We're going to juice this thing up a bit more. I'm going to keep the core at the same. I'm going to try to take it to 900 on the memory. Let's see if these Azuses can handle it. I'm actually going to give it some more power, and then I'm going to back the power back down. So I'm going to keep the power at normal, like if you just open the box, keep it at 100. And then we'll take the power down. I want to see what the power difference is. This is the main thing I'm doing. So without adjusting the power, keeping that at 900, let's try a little bit of Ethereum. We'll see the power consumption. I'm leaving the power tune up here, GPU-Z. You'll see the power consumption. We'll see if it actually starts artifacting at a plus 900 to memory. Yeah, 1080 Ti's, I see some of the questions there. 1080 Ti's, the few 1080 Ti's I have are doing 37 mega hash on Ethereum. Right there, we juiced her up, we're over 190. This rig is almost a 200 mega hash rig. $24, looks like we broke 24 with some of the cards now. You guys can see that. Yeah, it looks like it's zoomed in. We're going to check the power. That's on 8 cards. That's why the 1060s are just nuts. This is why I have to buy mice all the time. Every time I'm in Micro Center, I'm like, where are the mice? Give me the cheap ones. Angry Chicken, I saw your thing. Send me a message in Discord later on, or send us an email, and we'll see if we can get it answered for you. Yeah, so that thing's holding up pretty good. Which drivers are we using? Good question. I'll bring that back up. Should be the only drivers on this PC. C drive, NVIDIA display driver. 382.33. That's the driver. 382.33, and I actually can bring up Afterburner, even though yeah, there we go. It was minimized, and it says it right here too. Sorry for moving.
Yeah.
The cameraman's like, "What are you doing to me?"
It was like perfect, and then you moved it.
No, sorry. At some of the cards. All right, so let's see here. So let's see if we can hold 193 mega hash. Actually, let's give her the beans. Plus 1,000. Can it handle it? You think it can handle it?
I hope. That'd be fairly impressive.
8 cards. Love it. We're giving it 1,000. All in stock. It's a good link, Blueberry. I don't know, it's going. I think it's just taking its time. It might not.
It's not.
No, it dumped. Look, it dumped the power consumption. It killed it. I bet you 9. Let's see if we can get 950 out of it. I'm gonna restart it. I think we killed it. 1,000 doesn't work. Maybe if we gave it more juice. Here, I'm gonna switch my camera, so I'm gonna show people what I'm doing here. I'll get the other Logitech on. All right, so back here is the power button. Get that, and that little light there is it starting up. That white to green is what you want to see on that board, and that gets you that thing there. So I hope you guys like that little camera. I'm trying to give you guys some of the comments I see is like, yeah, it's great that you're restarting it, but I have no idea if you did anything else. So I'm trying to give you that other perspective. All right, let's see. Run that. Afterburner, GPU-Z. We're just gonna try this for about another 10 minutes, guys, and we're gonna wrap it up, and then we can get into the Discord and all that stuff. Again, I'm going to take about a half hour, 45 minutes. I'm going to do a few other things. What's GPU-Z doing? So it's taking its sweet time. Yeah, they're all in there. I was making sure a driver didn't kill a card or something, but I still see all the cards. It just took GPU-Z a cool minute to, I guess, peg all those. 25%. There we go. Nope, still not. It's taking a sweet time. What are you doing? Oh, it was showing red for a second. Now it's green. So what I'm doing, guys, people are probably asking, like, what the hell is he doing? So anytime a machine starts to freeze up on me, or if it's just not acting right, I'll go into performance and then open up the resource monitor, and then I look to see if something's showing, comes up red here, where it's not taxing the CPU, but it's threading out, like something, like, see how it keeps going red here? Like it's doing something right now that's having like hard stops, which I should start to see some hard faults in memory here. Well, there's just 2, and that's on the Microsoft thing. Usually, so it's just on the CPU hard fault where it's showing red, where it'll go red like if it starts to have some kind of freezing issue or something's up with it. It keeps saying that it has a new version available. It is not liking something. I'm going to close it. I'm going to let it. Now what I think it's doing is I try to open up Afterburner and it at the same time, and they both do the same procedural call when it's scanning the I/O. And I think what I did is I caused them both to collide, because now I see Afterburner in memory. Because they both essentially do the same kind of process. They do an I/O scan. You know, they look at the registry, they look at the references, they'll actually make calls to the cards, and they'll try to query the sensor information. Both of them doing it at about the same time. So I'm going to end up in that process, because I think Afterburner, and I'm going to end that process because I think GPU-Z, they both try to query that bus and just have made the machine unstable. Another way to do that is to give it a quick restart. This is why people are like, so why did the restart work? Why after I restarted everything was fine? It's probably because you created some kind of internal collision when they were like trying to peg the sensors and do their thing, and it just outright made those programs unstable, and then they stay locked into memory. So if you give it a reboot, it'll clear them out. Again, after this, I'm gonna link. We'll link Digital Gold's channel. I don't know if they're in here. You guys in here? Digital Gold, you in? You guys gonna do a live stream tonight? I'm gonna send these guys your way. Oh, I see him talking. You guys are gonna do a live stream tonight. I'll send them your way. All right, we're going to let the machine come up. It's still going. You can always, I usually go in here, the disk I/O also. If you're wondering what the hell the machine's doing, you can kind of come in here. You can see that the I/O, so the I/O is right here. You can see the highest activity, 72%. Disk I/O's just lit up. That's usually like your boot sequence right now. So it's going up, it's posting all of its changes. We had a hard restart. It's going to update some logs. What I usually do is see what's writing. Now this really has nothing to do with the mining. Let me predicate that. But if you're trying to figure out why your Windows machine's acting a little goofy, come in here, do it by sort. This is like Excel. You can sort it, see what's writing. Like a lot of Microsoft logs right now, that's normal. But if you're like, your machine's like running like crap, but your CPU's not pegged, you're like, what the hell is it doing? It's probably your disk I/O just lit up, doing some kind of update or some kind of other thing. So you can see if anything's really tasked. So if the machine sits there at idle long enough, Microsoft will go kick off some back-end process. If you don't turn those off, it'll start doing stuff. So now I think everything's good. I'm going to go ahead and just go for GPU-Z first, run it as administrator. Let it do its thing, not let it trip over MSI Afterburner at the same time. Notice it opened up perfectly fine. I can switch between cards. It's happy. I didn't try to open this up at the same time as Afterburner. They both query the same stuff. So if you do and you're wondering why you have some inconsistencies, it's probably because they're both trying to hit the sensors at the same time and just bad things happen. Now Afterburner takes a cool minute for it to run. Now they're both up, perfect. Everything's perfectly fine. We still have the 1000 because I had this thing set to auto start with the memory. We're going to back this down to 950. We're going to give it more juice. 110. We're going to apply it. And we're going to try Ethereum. So 950. We took it down by 50. I gave it 10% more power. And then I'm going to back the power down after this. So let's see if this runs with 950. or if it dies. Now last time we knew that it died because essentially the sensors, which it looks like it's dying again. We'll go to 0 here. Yep, you can see the sensor pegger's just nothing. Boom. Yep, not happening. Oh, no, maybe. Oh, it could do it. GPU Z doesn't like it. I don't think this is going to be stable just because of the way GPU Z's acting, but it got through the buffer. It posted its first piece, but I think it's going to die. Let's see, GPU Z.
It might have died.
It might. It just posted again. I'm going to close GPU Z. Afterburner just died. Hard freeze on the machine. Yeah, I don't think it's like the 950.
So 900 at 100% power.
900 at 100% power is where we left off.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to recover from that. So 950 on these Asus cards are too much. So 900 looking like where they're at least for ours. I'm just gonna go back to 900. I'm gonna rack the power down. That's gonna be the last test we're gonna do. Did Digital Gold talk anything in there? Are they gonna do a live stream tonight?
Something about giving away some cards.
Yeah, they were trying to hit 100 people.
They posted their YouTube link. They're not going live tonight.
They're not going live tonight?
They're not.
Okay. Yeah, you guys you could do I have their paste? Let me look. Yeah. That's their link. You guys can click that link and subscribe to them. They do a live stream too. They have a little GPU farm that they're working on. I mean, last night we were building this and a couple other things, and I just had them running. I think these live streams, and I think several of the people that log into these live streams, they probably go about their business and just have me in the background. And if they hear something they want to talk about or say something, then they just kind of put it in as background noise, So I support that. That's okay. All right, let's run this real quick. It's targeting an hour and a half. We're at 2 hours, I think, right? Okay. This will be the last test, and then we'll wrap this stream up. And then again, we'll look back about doing one tomorrow. I had a few different ideas for that one. I think I told you guys about earlier. Let's see here, 900. We're going to take it down to 70. So we're at 900 plus on the memory and 145 on the GPU, and brought the power down to 70. Once this gets going, I'll bring back up GPU Z and look at the sensors, and we'll do a power check. But I think that's pretty close to a wrap on this machine. This will get added to the mine. We got to do another. Come on, you can do it. You can do it. It's still doing 192 at 70% power. And there's the power. So 24.4, 24.3.
893 watts.
893 watts.
95.
And 192 mega hash. Yeah, we could take down the GPU clock too for Ethereum. If you can get a GTX 1070s, they're the best ones on the market right now. This is a six card 1060 rig, 8 card, sorry, 1060 rig. Mind you guys know that we do this not just for the most efficient. We do this to bring you the different card types, because different people have different cards available to them. So we try to do the gambit. We don't always do the best. Trying to find the best card or any of that kind of stuff. We try to also do it based on supply. Right now, supply is an issue. So this is just what you get out of these cards to have a benchmark. So it's all about what's in your area. If you can get 1070s, not be price gouge on them, you can spend $390 to no more than $400 for them. You're getting a good deal. It's the best card that you can buy on the NVIDIA side. All right, guys, I think we're going to wrap this one up. Let's check and see. We had a pretty large... I'm going to make sure I didn't miss any super chats I didn't answer. I think I tried to get everybody as they came in. We get 140 rubles? Holy hell.
So roughly about $3 US.
There you go. Yeah, probably.
I did the conversion already.
There you go.
I was like, what is this? How much is this worth?
I'm just seeing if there's any more questions, guys. We're right at 2 hours. So I was going to send you to another live stream, but there is one. There's none tonight from Digital Gold. Just like and subscribe their channel. Try to get them over 100. They were giving away a GPU. We may try to do a giveaway at some point. I want to see what in the stash that you guys would even want that we're not using. There's some old cards up here. But just stay tuned. I'll try to have a live stream tomorrow to bring some more stuff to you guys. And then we're going to have a couple more episodes this week. I'm going to try to do the deep dive on the motherboard, the TB250. We'll pick up at least the Z270 carbon board. If I can get a 170A, I'll pick it up for you guys and let you guys take a look on that. And then I was going to try to do a 1070 build for you, but that's like pulling teeth right now to try to find some 1070s. So just hang in there, ask questions, go check out bitsbetrippin.com. If you guys are looking for cooling and stuff like that, look at the store that's out there. We have a lot of cooling options out there if you guys choose. It's all facilitated through Amazon. Go to our Discord channel that's out there on bitsbetrippin.com too. You can click that. There's a lot of comments in there. A lot of people in the community are out there helping out each other, and contribute on there if you have some answers to some questions or if you just have it in the background. And we'll be bringing some more stuff to you guys. Thanks to Cash Money for that last one. We'll catch up with you on lining up a Skype. I'll leave the chat open too for a little bit, and I'll answer some questions in there too, guys, if you guys stay on this channel.